Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us "Need Software" to 323-405-1341. That's 323-405-1341. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal buyer's protection guarantee.
Earth, flat or round?
I knew he was going to ask that, I don't know.
Earth, flat or round?
This is where I think
I
have a disagreement on that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We can talk about it.
You go ahead.
I've listened to both sides of the story, and I think Flat Earth make a compelling argument. They make the videos and things like that. Is like it's had me thinking, damn. But then I don't see the why. What's the why? Why are they?
Why to take God out of the equation, to make you feel insignificant, to make you feel like everything doesn't revolve around you. You know, when they used to say, you act like the world revolves around you, because it does. You see, to make you feel like you have to hustle in order to survive and shit like that. If you knew that this world was actually created for you and everything is here that you need, you don't have to fucking go to work in order to eat and shit like that. Food grows out of the ground, off of the trees, like literally, like you don't have to be in the rat race and shit like that. You don't have to live this artificial lifestyle that they make you feel like you have to live. I'm on here arguing with my co-host. She's telling me about abortion. You know, people have to abort children because of financial reasons. Like, that's all a mind fuck. Yeah. Like, the world was created to give you everything that you need, and they want to take the creator out of creation. They want you to believe that this all happened by an accident. And any intelligent person would know, just by the structure of the human body, just by how your hand alone, fuck the rest of your body, just the mechanics of your hand is so complex that there's no fucking way that this can be an accident of an explosion, which usually destroys things. Now an explosion is creating things, and dust turns into this and that turns it. It's all bullshit.
You can't
it's
get
all a lie to take the creator out of creation and to make you feel insecure with your existence. That's part of the why. Also, it helps to control. It helps to control you. It helps to subliminally control you. Now I can tell you all kinds of shit. The whole reason why they were able to lie to us about the Bang Bang Boogie and all of that is because we believe in germ theory.
Yeah.
We, instead of, because there's other theories, instead of exosomes and the belief that that things start inside your body. We believe in Louis Pasteur, who is just the better marketer than this other guy named Bouchamp.
Who actually said the terrain is everything.
Thank you. So you know the science of what I'm talking about. Yeah. So the only reason we even believe that masks are going to save you and all of that is because Louis Pasteur, was a better marketer, just like Con Edison did better than Tesla. That's the only reason we don't have free energy right now. And that's another thing. To hide free energy is part of it. There's multiple reasons. There's not just one why. You know what I mean? But to know about flat earth is to know how far they'll go with the lie, and it'll let you know that they're all in on it. All governments, they know what this shit is really, that it's not really a ball. They're lying to you about going to outer space. They're lying to you about so many things at a fundamental level. Dinosaurs never fucking existed. One creature cannot transform into another. It's not possible. There's adaptation of one creature can, have different feathers when it goes into a different geological location. It'll change color or something like that, but it's not going to turn into a whole different species. That's a fucking lie. So now evolution is also to make you believe that anything that comes later is better, that as we go along, you see things get better. So the white man knows that he wasn't here in the beginning. So he has to say that he's part of evolution, so that he came about 6,000 years ago. And so he's the better man if we believe in evolution.
Facts.
It's true. And even the diagrams show melanated people, whether they're not even the humanoid, like ape looking. Don't have no black people there though.
Yeah, it's never the monkey did the ape and all that, and then it's just white man.
And then it's just caveman.
It's all ridiculous. And I'm just saying we have to use that's right, A1 Drizzy, flat power. Shout out to all my Flat Panthers. We have to use our minds and be logical about this. Like, anything that you cannot like reproduce in a smaller version and all of that, if it's not measurable, observable, and repeatable, it's pseudoscience. So now please show me where you can make water stick to a spinning ball. Pour water over a ball and make it stick all the way around as it spins at a high speed. Even if it's not spinning, you can't.
I'm not 100% sold on flat Earth. I can't say I am.
Okay. Because I saw y'all post something that made me think, these guys.
No, you know what? Yo, listen, I watched like some 5-hour documentary thing.
We was going back and forth.
I was going to him and saying,
you need to talk to me because I know a lot. Like,
did our African ancestors?
Of course they
agree
knew. Of course, this was look at Newton.
They circumnavigated the Earth, though. So how did they sail around the Earth?
Because you're sailing around the Earth. We're not saying that it's not a circle. We're saying it's not a ball. So you can go around your block.
What's underneath it, though?
What's underneath?
Now here's the thing, right? Y'all want us to answer questions that they won't even allow us to explore. So now when we get to a point where I have to honestly say, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie to you. And make some shit up like they do. What's at the edge of where's the edge of outer space?
I don't think it's comprehensible to us what's on the edge of whatever.
And it's also comprehensible how deep the ocean is, because I just saw something on that today of like how deep the oceans are, and they're like unfathomably deep. Like it's crazy how deep some of these fucking oceans are, and what's under that, I don't know. But just because I don't know that doesn't mean that certain absolutes like water always finds its level. Water must always have a container. Those are just facts. That's like we all must breathe air. Like that's something that you can't get around. And how are you going to have level water on a curved surface?
But aren't there like certain mathematical gravitational elements at play that we don't understand?
You know what I mean? You see, that's the bullshit. That's to make you believe that. You see?
But you see all the things that you're talking about. How you can't
gravity. If you take gravity out of the equation, it all falls apart. Gravity is what's called an ad hoc explanation. Once you take gravity out of the equation, it all falls apart. There is no gravity. There's only density and buoyancy. If something drop, the apple drops and hits my man on the head, oh, that gravity pulled it down. No, because if it went into a different medium, if it went into now the water, if that same apple now dropped into the water, it's going to float because the medium around it is heavier than that apple. So it's not dropping anymore. So if the medium is heavy, that's why bees are able to defy gravity, and houseflies and tadpoles and anything that swims through the ocean. If gravity was really holding the ocean down, then how the fuck does fish swim? How are we able to walk? Like, it's ridiculous. Gravity is supposed to attract, big things are supposed to attract little things, right? Little particles. Why don't we have dust particles spinning around us? Gravitate. Why don't we create our own gravity? Because that's some bullshit. It's not true. It doesn't happen.
So what do
you
think
don't get a big rock and little rocks start spinning around it.
Do you think the sun is in our atmosphere?
Yes, absolutely. It's not 93 million miles away. You would not have sunspots. It's ridiculous to even think that. And it's all bullshit math. So it got to be 93 million miles away, but it got to be 10 times as big. And then,
So then
and now to explain the fact that Polaris doesn't move, huh?
You know that, like, obviously they go back and forth with the sun setting. So
across
on the flat Earth model, it's just getting further away. They're saying
just going for it's perspective. That's
so.
all.
Why does it appear to go down below the ocean?
Perspective, my brother. Just like when you look down a hallway, you look down a long hallway, it seems that it's getting smaller at the end, but it down there is not small. It's the same size as the front of the hallway. It's just your perspective, my brother. And at some point, okay, because of atmosphere and all of that, and your human eye can only see but so far. The further you get, the atmosphere is like a pane of glass. So as you go further, it's like you have more panes of glass that eventually the pane of glass, all those panes of glass will obstruct your vision. So you're not going to be able to see to the other side of the fucking earth or anything like that. And at some point, the sun is going to seem to go out of your perspective, but it's not going down or anything like that. It's not traveling down. It's just traveling further away.
Everything I've seen on that is, they'll use the biggest cameras they've got, and
I'll send you something.
The sun doesn't go smaller as it's moving downward. The sun doesn't go smaller in size. It's always at the same size, and then it goes out completely out of shot like that.
You know what? We could trade some of this information.
And you think that's proof of being on a ball?
Proof, but it's something that we can see happening.
But we can also see that when we look up, the sun and the moon look about the same size. We can also see that. We can see that. The sun doesn't look humongous the way they tell us it is. When we look at them, they look about the same fucking size. Be honest with yourself. We also don't feel ourselves spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Let's talk about senses.
You don't feel yourself
talk about our
fast
senses
when you're on a plane, though?
Or in a car, or
well, that's when you're in a closed system. Stop that. That's the false argument.
That's what they're saying.
You have to have rebuttals, man.
Hang on. If you were on top of the plane, see, they're claiming that we're not enclosed. We're saying that there's a dome and all of that. They're saying that it's open. That this is an open ball exposed to the endless vacuum of space, and somehow we still have a pressurized atmosphere, even though we're not enclosed. So when you're on a plane, when you're in a car, you are enclosed. There is a roof. That's why the inertia, you're going with the plane and all of that, blah, 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 blah. Get on the top of the plane, like what they're talking about. They said we're on the earth. We're not in, they're not saying we're in the earth. They're saying we're on the earth. So now if you're on something that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, motherfucker, you're going to feel, don't say it's too big, because I feel I felt an earthquake when I was out in Cali. So it wasn't too big to feel no earthquakes. I should not be too big to feel the spinning. Where's the 1,000 miles an hour winds? How come I can't go up in a helicopter for an hour and land somewhere else? Because the earth is spinning under me. Because it's not. That's why. Okay. These are all shit that you didn't fucking think about. How do you land a plane on a moving target? Answer me that. See, these are all things you can't answer. You can't answer because it's not possible. It's not possible. It's ridiculous almost when you think about it.
No, I do feel some of the points.
I hear some of the points. I hear some of the points.
Well, you see, Jamar, without, you see, like the thing that you're saying at the beginning, that, you know, it takes away that worst center of attention and that we matter and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like you can believe that and believe that the world was created and still it will still be a globe. It doesn't have to be flat.
How? But it does. But see, first of all, why do you want it to be a globe so bad? Like what benefit
it makes
do you
sense
get
with everything that you look out of?
But see, that's not true. That's not true.
Why would
now here's the thing.
And the sun
only the moon and the sun are hang on. Only the moon and the sun are circular. The other planets are not circular. Those images that they give you, right, of Saturn and Jupiter, when you really look at them through a P90 camera and all that, they are
changing both.
They are not. They're not circles. Now hang on. Hang on. Now listen to this. Even if they were, right, that don't mean what we're on is round. Let's give an analogy. I'm standing on a pool table. I'm looking out. All I see is round pool balls. Right? But what shape is the pool table? Am I to assume just because I look out and see all these round balls that I'm standing on the same thing? Only if I was fooled to think that I was the same thing. But it's not.
But
it's not.
You'd have to have some evidence.
I'm on a flat, square surface looking out at round things. That has nothing to do with what I'm standing on.
If we was talking about perspective, though, us as human beings, like, I think that me driving to London that takes me about 2 hours to drive to London.
Right.
On the map.
They're square miles, right? They're square miles. How come you don't measure things in round miles? Why do we measure things linear? These are linear miles.
How could it be round though? How could we measure round though?
You tell me. Y'all the ones
the floor's still flat. Don't get me wrong. The floor is still
flat.
flat.
So now listen, if it is a ball, then we should see visible curvature 8 inches for every square mile. For every square mile, there would be visible curvature, my friends, according to y'all's equation. But you don't see it ever. Ever. Like, think about it. Like, they say Australia is down under. Do you really think these motherfuckers is walking upside down?
Nah, that's
on a ball. Huh? What?
That's perspective as well. Because sometimes when it's night
brother,
us, and it's night out here. But I'm sure
if you have a ball, I'm sorry, but there's gonna have to be a top of the ball, a side of the ball, and the bottom of the ball. The ball is spinning in this kind of way. So you're saying that there's land all around this ball, even on the bottom. Then they're saying Australia is down here. Don't say it's perspective, brother. We got to say what they're saying. They're saying that they're down under. They're down under the ball. That's why they call it that. So you have to believe that people are walking upside down. It rains upwards. And all because of gravity. You have to believe that.
So how do you explain?
People are walking sideways in other parts of probably in Britain and in America. You know, we're walking sideways.
How do you explain the Dogon tribe, the African Dogon tribe, and they knew about Sirius B?
What does that have to do with?
Wait there, because there's as well as the solar cycle where the sun is the Earth is rotating around the sun and all the planets are rotating for a second. The sun is also rotating around a greater sun, so it does its cycle as well. That's 25. This is what Africans have. They have noted this down.
We need to talk to these, because if that's what they're saying, that's some bullshit. I don't think that's what they're saying.
25,000.
All I know of is that these people located a star that these motherfuckers
they got that from the ancient Egyptians.
Know about for a long time.
Yeah, because
now you're giving them a cosmology that I've never heard of, that I would have to talk to them directly and see. And guess what? They could be wrong. They could be wrong, because I know for a fact we don't live on no fucking ball. Ain't nobody. If we come from stars, it's in a spiritual type of sense where we're connected.
Biblical.
Where each one of us may be connected to a star spiritually in some kind of
it's quite a biblical,
some kind of spiritual way, but it ain't no
firmament in the Bible.
Spaceships. Yeah, well, the Bible is a flat Earth book, so if you believe in the Bible, then you have to believe in flat Earth.
I personally, I'm not too sure about the Bible. I can't lie.
Okay, I mean,
I could go into that.
There's a lot of good and bad. There's a lot of truth and lies, and that's what makes it so compelling. That's why it's been around for so long, because they mix truth with falsehood, and it's
what I'd go into
what
I'd go into is the actuality of the book itself being printed. So for the book to be printed, it has to have the invention of it to be printed. Do you agree? You have to have the technology. You have to have the technology for it to be replicated, and mass produced. The first invention of mass producing books was the Gutenberg printing press. Which was,
who says?
That's what it was. It was, because before that it was scribes. Before that it was scribes. Thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Are we sure? See, this is where we're taking a lot of people's word on shit. We're taking a lot of people's word. They're saying that there was no wheel and all this kind of. There were no lasers and all of that, but we're seeing like ancient shit where it's like, ain't no way they chiseled this with a fucking rock. Like, I believe there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah,
okay,
I agree.
Trust me, I believe there was technology that we have right now that existed back then that they're not letting you know existed. So all of this shit about the printing press, listen to the name Gutenberg.
Exactly.
It was the Gutenberg was the first one.
But not for us. Not for Africans, because they had scribes. They had hundreds of thousands.
What I'm saying is, who's to say we didn't have a printing press? Like, do you really think these motherfuckers were the first ones to figure anything out? No, when we've been here for so long, and they just got here, now all of a sudden they figured this out and that out. And
come on, what took them out of the dark ages. The printing press is what took them out of the dark ages.
Right, but we was good. We already was. What I'm just saying is, we can't take none of this shit on face value, bro. Like, all of this shit that they taught us, this is shit that you learned in school. Let's keep it real. Like, they taught you all of this shit about outer space in 3rd grade, so that it would just be a done. You wouldn't question it. You just feel like, oh, well, they know better. Because they're the new priest. Like, science is the new religion. And back then you felt like you had to go to the priest to be connected to God. Well, now you feel like you got to go to the scientist to be connected to science. It's scientism and not real science. And that's what we have to get away from.
But you see, Jamar, like in say, like with the germ theory thing, a lot of that information is coming from scientists who are going against the grain. it's not just people like me and you who don't really have no background in that field.
Right.
The
And you
only
have
problem
people
that-
in this
Yeah.
field as
Yeah,
well who are
but
scientists that are
but the-
doing the same thing.
Can you direct us to any people in the flat earth field that are, you know, people of
And see,
scientists in that field? Because all
right.
I've seen, because I don't like to do the credentials thing, but
but you're
the
doing
flat
it
earth-
right now.
But I'm
But you're
doing
doing it right now.
But I'm doing
You're
it because
acting as if
I
hold up.
use it for myself in germ theory. Because if there was nobody, if there was no actual scientists and virologists and microbiologists in germ theory that are attacking germ theory, I probably wouldn't be on it. Just like
Here's
flat
the
Earth,
thing.
there ain't. It's just Bob and Jim and them.
We're all our
get me?
own scientists, bro.
No,
We're
but you
all our own.
You gotta have some degree of
Bro, science. How is science done? Through observation, through repeating shit. Anybody can do that. See, they fucked your mind into thinking, oh, you got to go to this school and that school.
Nah.
And
Don't get twisted.
I've been trained in this bullshit.
That's not how we're thinking at all. Don't get it twisted because we're very open-minded.
But listen, what I'm saying is
like that with this stuff. Honestly.
What I'm saying is there's plenty of people, especially you got to understand why people in academia would even have a certain frame of mind. You understand that people like the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts have paid to steer education down a certain pathway to where any now 100%. So-called expert in the field, they can't even get funding. You see how you 100%. Guys, how it will be harder 100%. For you to get funding because of what you talk about. You guys are so talented. If you shut your mouth and just put a dress on and put, did everything that they wanted you to do, I bet you'd have funding tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? It's the same way in the science shit. But now if you start talking that other shit and you think you're going to get you some funding from the government and all, it's not going to happen. And that's why science doesn't go anywhere, because it's all contingent upon if I'm saying the right thing for the people that's funding me. So you can't always act like, well, if somebody in this with super credentials is not verifying this, then it's some bullshit. I just gave you a bunch of layman shit that you don't have to be a scientist to think about and go research on your own. I just asked you, please explain to me, if it's spinning, why can't I go in a helicopter for an hour and come down somewhere else? You said it's spinning. Please just explain.
I couldn't answer that right now, but I reckon I could find a logical explanation.
Please, you're not going to, but try.
Because we've been there.
Because you know
he's come to me and said, "What's this?"
Let me.
And then obviously I don't know.
You know how I got into this?
Yeah,
I thought it was ridiculous.
We got into this. I was.
He was where you at right now.
I thought it was ridiculous, and I said, "I'm going to disprove this."
Yes.
And it sucked me down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Obviously, you didn't go far enough. It sucked me down. I
was sending that to everyone. I was
like, bro,
the earth.
This is some real shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like, they have because it's about showing and proving. We're not just taking people's word for some shit. Like, all of this shit that y'all are basing, planets and round or what, if everything else, all of this is some shit that NASA, Satan, T- people, okay? Because NASA is just Satan mixed around, dropping the T. That's why when they do a countdown, T- something such, T- this, because they took the T out of NASA, out of Satan to make NASA.
Damn.
That's deep. That is. They say T- as well.
Damn.
T-. Oh shit.
Anyway,
this shit off, man. You got us, man.
Oh my god. Now you know what? I've watched a lecture on like Satanism, and it was from an ex-Satanist priest called Mark Passio, and he was actually talking about NASA and the different symbols that they use, and he was explaining them and showing that they have some weird badges.
So
Weird
NASA, never a
fuck.
straight answer.
Weird as
Ain't that
fuck.
like everything they show you is animation? And it's funny, you're in the animation world. You know about that. It's animation and fucking
yeah, a lot of the things
drawings
are
and shit
suspect.
like
Don't
that.
get me wrong. Like all those astronauts where they like got the wires and they're like.
I've sent him
and,
loads of
and
these
all
videos.
that shit.
Trust
I'm
me.
like, why are they doing that? I'm like,
Do you have Photoshop?
Yeah, all that, man.
So when I first bought Photoshop, what's the first thing that they like have you work on? Like, what's the first sample thing that they had you work on?
What do you mean? Like just cutting you out?
It was in outer space. Fucking, I can't make this shit up. The first thing that they had, like, for you to fuck around with
the tutorial
on Photoshop, like when you're trying to learn how to do it, is some outer space shit where you could put planets and fucking all kind of shit. And I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers can't be like, they're just showing you in plain sight what the fuck they do. It's all some bullshit, bro. I'm telling you. Like, we don't live on a ball. We're not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Because there's not just 1,000 miles an hour. There's also, we're supposed to be chasing the sun, which is going through, which is going through the universe at like 600,000 miles an hour. And then there's some other shit that's supposed to be like, there's 3 different speeds, bro. And they're all super high. And yet we feel none of them. Come on, bro. Even when you're in a plane, you know you're moving. You know you're moving. Okay, you still might have the inertia, but if you close your eyes, you know you're moving. So cut the fucking shit. Cut the bullshit. Yeah, I could throw an apple up inside the plane, and the apple will come right back down to me because of inertia of being inside of a closed system. That's another thing. In order to have a pressurized atmosphere, you must have pressure. You must have a covering. What do you think a pressure cooker is? How does a pressure cooker work? You put a top on that motherfucker, close the top, so that the pressure will build up and cook whatever's inside the shit. Once you open the top, there is no pressure.
It's a shame we can't do these experiments. These like be able to like go to space and shit. You know, like no, I mean like
that's where there's certain shit. That's what I'm saying. They won't let you go to Antarctica. They won't let you to go to Antarctica and explore that, because that would prove a lot of shit if we were actually able to do that. But somehow they've got a treaty with all these nations where they can't agree on nothing else. Because they can't agree on nothing else, but they can agree that
if someone wants to risk their own life to go explore the world, why can't they? Who says you can't allow to go?
How can they let that Admiral Byrd do it before? They let them
right,
do it back in
and
the day.
then nobody could do it after him.
It don't make no
because
sense,
he came back with some stories. He came back with some stories that they don't want told. That's all I'm saying, man.
Maybe we can get you on our podcast and we could do a part 2 and see if I can debunk a little bit of this.
I'd be loved.
We'll bring you
There's no way you can debunk anything that I'm telling you. Like I've researched this to the hilt. Like I have no doubt. There's no like.
Never say never, be.
Shake me. See these Kyrie Irvings and all these other, they haven't studied to the level of me. That's why I know, but when I say it, people don't really go at me and try to act like I'm fucking crazy because I know too much. Like I really have too much information on this to where they'd rather not even talk to me about this shit because I bring up too many good fucking points and make people actually want to go and fucking study this shit for real. Because I'm telling you, I got in this to debunk it. That's what it was. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. How are we even talking about this right now? And the more I studied, the more I realized, oh shit, these motherfuckers will lie to us at such a fundamental level so early in life for so long that it's mind-boggling. But then it makes sense. Like it makes sense if they could lie about that and then lie about dinosaurs and evolution. Like they can lie about anything.